For so many of us, dreaming about starting a family, it's just this huge, beautiful goal, right? But as life goes, that journey isn't always a straight shot. Sometimes there are a few twists and turns you just don't see coming. And that's totally okay. It's so important to remember there's no single right way to build a family. Today, we're going to talk about one of those other paths, a really powerful one that has helped create families all over the globe: in vitro fertilization, or as you probably know it, IVF.
All right, so let's get right into it. When does IVF even come up in conversation? I mean, it's not usually the very first thing you try. It's more of a really crucial option that a specialist might bring up when they see certain hurdles that, well, IVF is just perfectly designed to help you leap over.
And the reasons people look into IVF, they are all over the map, really. It could be something related to female fertility or male fertility. Sometimes it's about the natural changes that come with age. And then there's that super frustrating diagnosis of unexplained infertility. In those cases, IVF can be a way to proactively move forward. Okay, so first step, female factors. Sometimes the issue is purely physical, like blocked fallopian tubes. Think of them as a little roadblock that keeps the egg and sperm from meeting up. Other times, it's more about hormones and conditions that mess with ovulation. And then there's a really common one you might have heard of called endometriosis. So, what is endometriosis? Basically, it's when tissue that's supposed to be inside the uterus decides to grow somewhere else. This can cause all sorts of issues, like inflammation and scarring, which makes it tough for an embryo to implant. This is where IVF can be a total game changer because it lets you bypass those physical roadblocks completely and gives a healthy embryo a direct path to where it needs to go. And of course, let's be real, fertility is a two-person thing. It is absolutely a team effort, and male factors are just as common. We're talking about things like the total number of sperm, how well they swim, that's called motility, or even their shape, their structure. In some situations, there's a condition called azoospermia, which means there's no sperm found in the semen. Now, that might sound final, right? But this is where modern science is just incredible. Even in these cases, there are advanced techniques that can often retrieve sperm directly from the source, making parenthood absolutely still a possibility. Okay, next up is a big one, a factor that honestly comes up for everyone on this journey: age. And look, it's really important to think of this not as some scary deadline, but just as a key piece of the timeline, because it does naturally affect both the quality and the quantity of eggs. So there's a number that often comes up in these conversations: 35. Why? Well, for women, this is the age when fertility specialists usually say, hey, let's be a little more proactive. It's basically when that natural decline in the number and quality of eggs can start to pick up speed, making time a more significant factor in the equation. And this leads to some really practical, easy-to-remember advice. If you're under 35, the general guideline is to talk to a specialist after about a year of trying. But if you're 35 or older, that timeline gets a bit shorter. They recommend checking in after 6 months. The whole idea is just to get good information and get it sooner rather than later. Okay, I love this next section because it really gets to the heart of how IVF has opened up so many doors for so many different people. It's a technology that helps build all kinds of amazing modern families. For women who are ready to become parents completely on their own terms, IVF with donor sperm is such an empowering and popular option. It really puts you in the driver's seat of your journey to parenthood. And it's an absolutely vital tool for the LGBTQ+ community. For same-sex female couples, you have amazing options, like one partner providing the egg while the other carries the pregnancy. And for male couples, IVF combined with an egg donor and a surrogate can make their dream of being dads a beautiful reality. So it's really helpful to stop thinking of IVF as just one single thing. It's actually more like a whole toolkit, packed with specialized tools that can be used to tackle very specific challenges you might run into. Okay, one of the coolest tools in that kit is called ICSI. Seriously, think of it like a personal VIP escort for the sperm. It's perfect for male factor infertility, where a sperm might have a tough time fertilizing the egg on their own. With ICSI, an embryologist can pick out one single, healthy sperm and gently inject it right into the egg. It totally bypasses any barriers. Another incredible tool is something called PGT. That stands for pre-implantation genetic testing. And this is a true game changer, especially for couples who might carry a known genetic disorder or for anyone who's been through the absolute heartbreak of recurrent miscarriages, which so often are caused by chromosomal issues in the embryo.
And the process itself? It's actually pretty straightforward when you break it down. Step 1, embryos are created through IVF. Step 2, a few cells from each embryo are carefully screened for their genetic health. And step 3, a healthy embryo is chosen for the transfer. Doing this can seriously increase the chances of a successful and healthy pregnancy.
So, as we start to wrap this up, it's just so clear that the path to parenthood can look so different for everyone, and that's the beauty of it. The journey forward is just filled with so much hope and so many incredible possibilities, all thanks to these amazing advancements.
Really, the biggest takeaway here is that IVF is so much more than just a medical procedure. It's a proactive, positive choice. It's something that empowers people to build the families they have always dreamed of, in so many different and beautiful ways. And just a quick but super important reminder, this whole discussion is purely for educational purposes, okay? It is not medical advice. For any kind of medical guidance, you should always talk to a doctor.
If you want to find out more about the complete IVF process, you can find a ton of information on the portal ivfforme.com. Thanks so much for joining us.